Okay, so I'm going to be pretty quick and precise so everyone can get some useful information about today. Today was the second day of Global Entrepreneurship Week, which is going on in Uzbekistan and in other countries as well. Today was quite intense because we planned 7 sessions, after which we could come up with 6 because one of them was canceled due to some technical reasons. And let me go through the sessions we had today. And the first one was in the morning. That was session 1, where the topic was development of startup idea. And the speaker was Muslimbek Prinazarov. At the beginning of the presentation, he started with highlighting importance of creating unique and favorable atmosphere to make startup grow and to make startup evolve in real life situations. As an example, he gave his own creation, which is TISS, like TISS, is incubator center, where they use educational and practical ideas to put startup ideas not only in high-tech area, but any other area in the real world. One of the main messages he wanted to deliver was that many people believe that the most important thing in any startup is idea. But actually, he was arguing with this idea. That main thing is not idea, but main thing, how do you organize this idea into action, or how do you implement this thing into real life, which is only possible with the help of good supervision and assistance. As an example, he also said that if you look for like 100 startup ideas in the internet, you will possibly see that only 20% of them are implemented in Uzbekistan. But still, others aren't implemented just because they were not given correct supervision and support by bodies, let's say by like his organization. So that was mainly the summary of the first session. Okay, let's move to the second one. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Yeah, it's visible.
Yeah, the second session was led by Dr. Pravin B. Malla, and he was sharing his own life experiences. And the session was called Identifying and Empowering Rural Women Entrepreneurs, a case study from India. As a person, he expressed he's really concerned with all the people living in India, and especially the one with really low financial income and from disadvantaged communities. So his idea was to create a project where women sell cosmetic products. So the process was in following way. The women are distributed some cosmetic sets that they had to sell to their communities or whoever interested in the project. And he was giving some really good examples, like the price of a monthly cosmetic was equal to the price of a chicken meat, which is ridiculous because it's quite cheap. But surprisingly, the project turned out to be a big success. And starting from 6 women, the project grew to 30 people. And that's already quite a good number. So the question is, how did they distribute the profit, or how did they identify the profit margin? 50% of the profit went to the seed fund. So it's kind of bank account where they keep a certain amount of budget and which should be used for future, let's say, projects or endeavors. Another 50% will definitely go to those women entrepreneurs who are working hard. There were some challenges as well. Let me see what is happening in the chat.
It's not for you. It's for
Okay.
a guy from Ground Zero who I was asking to add to announce his session for tomorrow.
Okay. So concerning this entrepreneur project, there was some challenges as well, because the people who participate were women. They had quite a hard time to allocate their time and 100% effort to this project, because they also have their own family roles all the society problems and they had to deal with. That's why that was the biggest challenge.
Хорошо,
They
ладно, в
could
следующий
not
раз. Я
allocate
знаю, там
their
надо
time and
выделить.
effort 100% to the success of this program. And at the end of the session, the professor told that he is really curious about creating very similar project in rural areas of Uzbekistan. And he really believes that that could lead to a bigger success. That was it for the second session. Just a moment. Okay, the third session was a meeting with the board of trustees of Team University. It was moderated by Alshir Hassanov, rector, and the meeting was led by chairman of the board of trustees, Alan Franz. So there was some very important issues discussed in this meeting. And one of them is, and the major of them is corporate governance. The members stated that corporate governance is comparatively new practice in Uzbekistan and had never been done before. And core function of any board are some really good points. One of them is establishing a vision, a mission, and the value of organization. The second one, to appoint adequate senior executives so they can manage the company or the educational institution in a proper way. And the third one is to manage risks, because in any the profit-oriented company, the risks are present. So we should have really good, adequate people to manage these risks. To sum up, the corporate governance plays a really significant role in maintaining the reputation of a university or of any organization. And the board of trustees can do it by proper management or influencing proper management and mitigating risks. Those were the main points discussed in session 3. All right, now we move into session 4. The session 4 was dedicated to discussing the drawbacks and benefits of online and offline education. It was led by Tatiana Shalunova. She is founder of Profit Training. And in her speech, she tried to emphasize what are the drawbacks and benefits of online and offline education. Everybody knows that starting from 2020, online education has become a really hot topic to discuss everywhere. And she tried to point out what are some benefits both aspects have, such as they usually differ in 3 exponential manners. The first one is setting and flexibility. The second one is motivation. And the third one is expense. Can anyone still see my screen? I think it's somewhat stuck. All right, let's assume the first one can be flexibility and settings. Offline classes can accommodate up to 25 or 30 people. On the contrary, online classes can do that without any restriction. So no matter how many students are participating in the class, it is possible if the platform is adequate enough. Then there is also emotional factor. Offline mode includes some really good emotional involvement. On the contrary, online mode cannot boast with this, let's say, feature. About the cost, offline mode classes usually more expensive than online mode. But at the same time, the living rate, let's say dropping out students from the classes, are more in online compared to offline. And the last one is motivation. It is usually proved that offline classes or the students attending offline classes are more motivated to learn, to communicate, and to work on the projects than the students attending online classes. And those were the main summaries that Tatiana Shalona made. All right, now we're going to the fifth session, the conclusion of this fifth session. and it was also performed by her, Tatiana Shalonova. She tried to, she was talking mainly about international standards of financial education. So it's not surprised that starting from 2021, majority of Uzbek companies in accounting, or let's say involved in economical matters, are moving to ISFE standards. And they are, along with Norma US, are the two companies who won in vendor, and they're going to offer trainings and certificates for the attendance to get. So the main point of her presentation was to show out what their learning center, like Profi Training, can offer. Mainly, they can offer quite good quality classes. They include really unique materials. They include one-to-one classes and support of the tutor who could at the class to support the students and after class to motivate them to move further into career paths. And one most important thing that she was mentioning, she tried to sort out all the certificates because there are really tons of certificate in finance and accounting. She tried to sort them out based on the career path person has chosen. So you don't have to get everything, each and every certificate to be successful in your area. That was the main point of the session 5. All right, now if we move to session 6, the last one, which just has finished a couple of minutes ago, the importance of brand identity. The presentation was demonstrated by Natasha Try by London Met University of Business, London Metropolitan University Business Accelerator. And she tried to share with her really rich experience in developing a brand identity. Because now the brand is actually the face of the company or any educational entity. By knowing the brand, we know the company. By knowing the brand, we accept and perceive the company's image. She has emphasized that there's some steps in developing bright brand identity. One of them, or the first one, initial one, is realizing what brand stands for. Because if you don't understand what your brand represents and what the core values, it's really hard to create a proper marketing strategy to identify your brand and to promote it. The second one, you have to illustrate the mission and values of the company. Because it's really a common thing that if you know the values of your company, it's very easy to solve any other problem coming forward. And the third one is creating a logo, which is actually, as I mentioned before, it's the face of your company. If you create a proper and adequate logo, it builds a trust between you and your customers. It helps to maintain loyalty of the previous customers, and third, it will try to convince the moral values or the economic values of the company, which is really important. During the session, Natasha tried to show us really a bunch of techniques or technical elements, how you can develop and maintain your logo. That included some graphic factors, the color choice, the message you have to write, and the way how do you interact with your potential customers. So, lastly, she was really claiming that the logo should not be just a picture. It should have some deeper symbolic meaning. So when people look at it, they should clearly, let's say, imagine what are they dealing with and do they really want to, let's say, use the services or buy the product. And if the logo delivers those messages, it means it's quite a good logo. So yeah, that is it for my part. And we are done with the day 2. If you have any questions, please go ahead.
Well done, Abror. It's a very good summary and overview of the whole day. This day was very intensive, a lot of interesting presentations. We met a lot of interesting speakers. So if you are interested in adding something to what Abror has done, you are welcome, because we are going to do the summary of the week and provide some recommendations. I'm really looking forward to see you all, tomorrow, because we have a lot of interesting presentations tomorrow and every day, on Thursday and on Friday. So thank you very much.
By the way, just one thing, I want to really thank you, everyone who contributed today, Hulkar, Nikolai, Tohrake, everyone, you who made this, let's say, report more rich and more meaningful. So thank you guys one more time. And thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.